Welcome to the Best Advice Podcast with your host, life and love success coach, and author of The Poison of Perfection, Angela Wadley. If you're looking for authentic, no-holds-barred advice about life, love, business, career, or health, you've come to the right place. You'll hear from fascinating guests as they quickly reveal their powerful advice to inspire you to create and live your best life. So get ready, grab a pen, or make a mental note. You don't want to miss this.
Hi, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for having me here.
When it comes to business, career, love, health, or life in general, if you have ever struggled with a decision, had to figure your way out through something, or just learned a valuable lesson, what is the best advice that you can share?
When it comes to health, in particular the health of a loved one such as an aging parent, the best advice I can share is to start your conversations early with your parents and to plan ahead. Being a senior living advisor, I see so many cases where families have not planned, they have not talked about anything, and something unexpected inevitably happens, and the whole family is in crisis, and they're in disagreement over what mom or dad would have wanted. But all of that can be avoided with some careful planning and some discussions with your parent about what their wishes were. And there are a few topics that I would recommend that people talk about with their parents. The first is to do with their housing situation. What are their wishes when they get older and when they start needing care? Do they want to stay at home for as long as possible, or do they like the idea of a retirement residence? What are their wishes with respect to care needs and hiring of help to provide in-home care or care in a group setting? Do they have any diagnosed health conditions that are going to progress and perhaps need more support in the future? And these would be chronic diseases such as Parkinson's or a case of dementia or Alzheimer's. Have they gotten their legal affairs in order? Perhaps it's time to get a power of attorney done, which is something that they should do before they start losing mental capacity. Perhaps it's time to update a will that hasn't been looked at for 30 years. Those are the two main areas of legal matters that families should talk to their parents about. Do they have their finances in order? And in particular, for family members who are powers of attorney, you should be familiar with your parents' cash inflows and outflows. What are their financial obligations, and what income do they have to finance their future care needs? And lastly, are your parents in a situation where one spouse is taking care of another? And if so, what efforts are being made to prevent caregiver burnout for the spouse that's the primary caregiver? So these are just examples of a few things that families should have a conversation about, and it should ideally happen at a time when there's no pressure to make any decisions. Otherwise, you will likely be faced with a lot of resistance. The best time to start a conversation about these things is when no decisions have to be made yet, but you're rather just planting the seeds into your parents' minds to start thinking about these things, and it may take weeks or months for them to think about what their wishes are.
Okay, so if you were a character in a TV show or movie, which character would you be and why?
If I could be any character at all, I think I would like to be Scooby-Doo. Because A, I love dogs, and B, how fun would it be to be a talking dog that solves mysteries? It would be pretty cool. Anyhow, that's my answer.
Thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you again for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it. And I hope that listeners got something useful out of the bit of advice that I gave. I know that we were time limited today, but if anyone wishes to discuss their personal circumstances with me or have any follow-up questions, please contact me anytime. You can find me on LinkedIn or go to the websites that are included in the episode details. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode. Please subscribe and share with someone you care about. To catch all the latest from Angela, go to www.angelawadley.com. Until next time, keep growing and keep going.